Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Hollywood Animal. Night has fallen on planet Hollywood. We're just waiting on the nude revolver to roll through. It's runtime here. So we've got it running for the first 4 weeks. You guys are struggling with getting me new elements. And I'm disappointed in you. And I hope you're disappointed in yourselves. Also, a bunch of people are not doing anything right now. You know what? Have our best people try to research. Carlos, I'm gonna give you one more chance, and then you have to write. It's actually come to pass. You know how I talked about how Walter was eventually gonna become our worst writer? And it's actually occurred. I am curious. So we could hire Maurice Fox, and he's actually, he's amazing as far as a writer goes. He's not that super expensive. Do we kick Walter to the curb? The thing is, I don't know how much of an influence writing in your favorite genre has. Danny Fletcher is a 6-star. He is 1 star above Walter West. Does that make him a better writer in everything but action? Like how many it'd be great to know, and I don't know if anybody actually knows this without like diving into the code of the game, but like how much does writing in action for Walter West push him above any of my other writers? I just don't know. The thing is, I'm kind of thinking we give Walter the boot. Sorry, Walter. And pick up this other guy, Maurice Fox. Just because I think it's kind of interesting to have a new 8-star who's now all of a sudden he's in the top 3 writers I have and could develop into the top 2. I wonder though, do we just put him into school immediately to put him in to make him a 9-star writer here? I'm gonna do it. While we're here, let's see if there's anybody else we'd like to put in there. Max skill level. Jane Fisher, you're not working right now, and we're kind of like stuck not working on stuff as well. So I'm gonna take the time to just put you through school here. Looks like everybody else is pretty close to max. You know what, David? I got rid of you and I brought you back. I'll make you a 6-star to make up for it. Vincent, you're going back to school. You had a little bit of a break to work on some movies, but now you're going back to movie theory. Harry Ray, get in there. We're putting everybody back into school again. Benny Holzer? We'll not put him in there yet. I know my 9-star guy is working on something, although I think he's probably done with it right now. You've dropped to 7. Cop versus cop. This one. That's the cop, that's the other cop. And then we don't schedule the thing yet. But this should free up our post distribution team, or post-production team, pre-distribution. The Revengers. Oh, look at this. There's like bombers in the background. I like that one. Like, it's weird they put a bunch of dudes on it when it's like an almost all-female cast. Oh, it dropped below the 9 level. It was close. And honestly, I'm okay with it. What? Dude, I gotta go with this house on fire and this like terrible spider monster in the background. That's so good. I love that. Holy cow. I've never seen such a terrifying monster. That's amazing. That might be my favorite poster. Like, to so far in the game. Holy cow. All right. Crank up the speed. Let's let the nude revolver rock and roll for a bit here. A parent figure. That's not that interesting. Good job, Sigmund, but I mean, kinda. I want to write. Somebody suggested back in the episode where I unlocked the robot, I would like to write Terminator. I think that's a great suggestion. Is it just, it's the Terminator? No, I think it's just Terminator and Terminator 2. Terminator. The only thing that's coming to mind, it doesn't even make any sense, is the Terminator, which isn't, that's like if you made the Tick, but you changed the bug he was based on. He just eats a lot of wood. Terminator. Terminate. End. The vibe is in shambles. That should be a movie though. Terminatron. I'm out of ideas. I've hit the, this is when you know we have to start over, as I've hit the end of my rope, my creative rope. I can't think of anything anymore. Action, science fiction. I don't think any, I mean, it's a little bit of a thriller, but basically the modern American city, especially if we're going with the first one. So the antagonist, gosh, it's like, well, the first one is Sarah Connor, actually. I just realized, because I'm much more familiar with Terminator 2. I actually watched that one growing up. Terminator 1 was a little before my time as a child. I've seen it because I've gone back and watched it since. But Terminator 2 is definitely the one that's more imprinted on my brain. I think Sarah's just kind of a person. Like the working woman. It's not social injustice and corruption along the way. It's a horrible robot. Oh, I guess it's an accidental hero because she did not want to be hunted by an evil robot from the future. Robot Arnold Schwarzenegger. Supporting character is the father of John Connor. How do you even, like, sidekick, I suppose? Not rival, because he's there to help. There are, like, cops involved, but they're, like, mostly baffled. They're like, how did this man take, like, 80 bullets and then punch through a windshield with his bare hand? Can I digress for a second? How much force would it take to punch through? I mean, any amount of force applied, but how much force would it take to punch through the windshield and not? Or I mean, like, it would shatter your entire arm. They're so strong. Have you ever sat on a windshield before? Then again, you do see those videos where somebody like jumps on their friend's car and it like immediately shatters. Not shatters, but you know, because they're anti-shatter glass. But they definitely spiderweb the whole time. I'll put the sheriff in there. He's kind of like the representation of the cops there. So what do we got here? We've got... like, there's a bit of a... I feel like there is a crime of necessity, and I can't remember exactly what happens. It's not heroes in uniform. I don't think there's a long journey. There's definitely shooting. Probably a runaway. Struggling for a better life. Oh, we need a finale. Whoops. Oh, let's make sure we're not missing anything. Vivid. I don't think there's a lot of it. Like, there's violence, but it's not like graphic. And then the robot gets defeated. I think he gets crushed in like a hydraulic press. I think that's how that goes down. And then the protagonist survives, but the sidekick does not. Good luck, Sigmund. I have no idea how you're gonna make that one work out. Oh, look at the nude revolver, 8.2. Okay. It's dropped a bit. So 28 looks like it might be our max. Maybe not if we had a 9.9, 9.9 film, but in a general sense of a 9-star film with word of mouth, you can expect to run around 28,000 and then drop a little bit each week. So now we're running around 80%. So that'd be 16. So 22 at the end there. So let's go ahead and set up distribution again. So this is a little less brain dead than I thought it would be. So 20,000 maybe? So it went from 28 to 20,000. Maybe we drop it by 2,000 per week. And see if that follows the correct trajectory. Because if this is the case, we can actually think about maybe start running some of our movies a little sooner than I thought we would. So let's accept that. Because like right now, if we were to try and run a movie at the back end of this film, it would have access to like 16 or 18,000 theaters. Or no, it would be 12,000. Sorry, so it's still a little too early to try and jam in a good movie. And the problem is we don't really make bad movies anymore. They're bad in the context of like what my people are capable of making. But they're not bad. Like the Cop vs. Cop is quote the worst one, and it's still a 6.9 as its lowest score. So I think we confirm that. Let it run again. And then we'll, I guess I was thinking about trying to run one of you in this interim space here. So I think we should try to stick Cop vs. Cop in this spot. So if the nude revolver finished at 16, we want, I'm trying to like parse it out in my head. So we want to give it a chance to run with like at least 12,000 theaters starting. So let's give you 16. And then if the other film needs 12, maybe we like well, I think it's not going to need more. So I think 16 and giving this guy 12,000 theaters to run in, it'll work just fine. So then 16, let's do 14. And then we'll drop it to like 11. And then 10. And I know this is an overshoot, but we're not going to run Cop vs. Cop back because it's going to run right into the front. I mean, if we do, it'll be pretty minimal. And we'll run it right into the front of the Nat here. But we can't run over the levers is the thing, so. We would like to... I thought I could print in-house now. Did I not do that? Or maybe I started researching that. Oh, excuse me. The printing doesn't work. But this printing does, okay. And we don't have enough... I forgot to give you enough time to advertise. Oh well, we're gonna just run an abridged amount of advertising, which will actually be even more detrimental to this movie. As far as like how many theaters or how many screenings it has. So maybe just jamming it in here. Jeff Einhorn, I fired your ass. But you're gonna come back and do a trick for me because I didn't let the mob murder you. Maybe you should be in jail. Except whatever. Whatever. I've been kicked out and brought back in like 80 times at this point. A stagecoach robbery. Danny. Oh, what's this? Oh, Dude, we were just when we unlocked Utopian City, dystopian futuristic city is exactly what I was hoping for. Dude, you know what we can write now? We can write Blade Runner. There's so many dystopian future movies that we can write though. But Blade Runner is a great film. We'll call it what am I doing? This is not where we write scripts. We'll call it Knife Sprinter. That's good. It is. So this is the original, not the new one with Ryan Gosling, which is also an okay movie, but the original one is just like, it's like a science fiction detective movie with like a little bit of action, but it's mostly about like what makes a human being. There's a bit of action, mostly science fiction. Honestly, it's more of a noir film now that I think about it. It's like a little bit of science fiction. We'll say 35, 45. And then there's a bit of action in there as well. It's a dystopian futuristic city. The protagonist is a detective, Deckard Cain. There he is. The antagonist is a robot. The replicants. Essentially a robot. I think they're more of an android. It's kind of a criminal gang, but I think robot is more accurate in the portrayal of who it is. There's a rival. There's like I think there is an angry boss. He doesn't really have a sidekick, but he kind of does. It's like a scientist who's helping him like figure out shit. And then there's like a pissed off bureaucrat too, but I can't really remember how that goes. There's not really a big battle scene. There is a crime of necessity. The robots don't want to be erased. So like for those of you who don't know about Blade Runner, Deckard Cain's job is he hunts down rogue androids after they've like hit their expiration date essentially. But they look exactly like humans. So there's like this weirdo test. And there's actually a couple, the interesting thing about Blade Runner from a film studies perspective is there's a couple different versions of the film out there. There's the original theatric version, which has like the weirdest there's an overdub of Deckard Cain's inner monologue, which I've only seen parts of that version of the film, and I think it makes the film really like not confusing. It's kind of just like annoying. He's like narrating what he's already doing. And the thing is that if you read about the history of the film, it was like, I think it was Ridley Scott, who is the director of that film, wanted to release the film without that monologue. And that's what you get in the director's cut, which is the film that I am most familiar with, and I actually think is a very, very good movie. But when they released it in theaters originally, they did like a test screening without the monologue, and the audience that they had like hated it. They were like, I don't know what he's doing. Like, what's going on? And so the studio panicked, and they were like, we have to. It was almost like in Hollywood Animal, they had an event pop up where it was like theater screening went horribly wrong. What do we do? And they panicked, and they're like, have Harrison Ford do this like overdub inner monologue that will just add into the movie. And then like that was the theatrical version they released. And people were like, the inner monologue is weird. Like, why are they explaining stuff that he's doing already on screen? It was almost like to get to the normal American populace, they needed like a little bit of explanation, but they went too far with it. It's just an interesting thing to study from a film creation perspective. But I would, if you wanted to see one version of the film, I would recommend the director's cut, where Ridley Scott went back and took that all out and was like, this is the film I wanted to make. I think that is a very good film. There is a shootout. There is a struggle for a better life for sure. And the way it ends is kind of confusing. Cause the antagonist dies, but he like lets himself die. This like implies that, yeah, they're physically destroyed doesn't sound right. You know what? I think it's kind of this. It's not 100% true because the android isn't like, I regret my decisions, but he does let Deckard Cain live. So he's like, yeah, I know you're just trying to do your job, and I know I've done a lot of bad stuff. So I think that's like the accurate ending there. It's a little unfortunate we're giving such a movie that we've given a lot of thought to Danny Fletcher here as a 5.4 writer, but you know, maybe he'll surprise us. Oh, no way. The game was like, oh, I heard you don't want any more 9-star movies. That's so funny. Oh, they dropped it 0.1 below the threshold that we would have needed. This man falling out of the tower is actually quite poignant. Those of you who've seen iRobot will know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna spoil it. We're just gonna put this here for now. We'll let it stack up with the Revengers, the Song of Steve, and the nude revolver here. All right, you two are done, ready for filming. My best bud's nuptials. That's gonna be a word of mouth movie for sure. Second unit. Don Beck. And then the Barbara film. What are you at? Also a 9-star movie. Possibly another, maybe this is another setup where we run 2 9-star movies simultaneously. Ben Khan? Have at it. All right. Do we have any free writers, or are you all in masterclass? Yeah. That is the case. All right, the nude revolver. The moment of truth is now we're gonna try and run it over cop versus cop on the back end here. And that'll be interesting. A little bit up. I feel like we kind of like swung at the same level that it currently was at with the directors and cinematographers, so couldn't expect that one to punch up the score too high. The trick didn't work, okay. So we're running at, what is this number? I think that's a bug. Oh no, that increased by 20%. I see. So we're running at capacity here at the end here, but I guess what we just do, because cop versus cop is coming in, I think we just run it with all the theaters we have, because we're not going to run anything else in there. We might as well just run the advertising back here. Cop versus cop. Who will win? With no question marks. What do we got? A-. The Bone Grinder is like, this is a film that's never been made before. You're an artistic genius. You glorious bastard. Dude, the thing that I'm a little sad about, I know I'm in trouble. You guys hate me. The thing I'm a little sad about is we probably, and I don't think we'll get to World War II, so we're not going to be able to make like Inglourious Bastards or like Captain America. Keep protecting. Like all this anti-Nazi propaganda, which is not really propaganda because it's true. I guess it's still propaganda if it's true. It's just like valid, valid propaganda. It's like, hey, you guys know your leaders are awful, possibly the worst human beings in the history of the world. It definitely in the running. What's the max? I should be paying attention. 133. That's an interesting number to try and hit. We could do 85, 45 or 40, and that would put us at 135. Oh, but we can't do both medical insurances. That's interesting. How about I give you a little bit of whiskey and I give you a little bit of medical insurance and then 5 grand. How about that, Thomas? Sound good? He's like, I love whiskey. Speaking of gifts, looks like we have to re-up. It's been a minute since I've looked at this, since we, like, didn't we put in like 30 at one point, and I've just been letting that carry me through. I should put this to 25. Can I change it, or do I add 10 to it? Let's find out. Well, 110. Too much. Too many cigars. I'm gonna get stopped by customs on the way back from Cuba. This would have been before the Cuban embargo, though, so maybe it's fine. Because nuclear weapons don't exist yet. And communism. I mean, communism exists, but America at the time wasn't concerned about communism yet. What a weird thing to be worried about. Like the idea, a political ideology. Yeah, what? Gabriel, how? I guess I have to get you writing. Maybe, do they have like new element fatigue? Protagonist's close one dies. What a weird theme. All right, I don't have enough ideas to have all of you be doing things. So I'm gonna have you keep researching. Also, because I still have these like huge movie backlogs that I have to clear. Oh, look at it! Yes, 5A3 is the tops. Duke of Circles is the second. Something called Keep Dry was sandwiched in there. All right, we've got some good movies. Not the best of the movies, but pretty good. Well done, Victor Lambert. Give you more money to speed up research, please. Established a... have we even used love triangle in a film? The Mentor. Romance. Jeez. Is this like an end of year thing, or is it like... they were all in the same movie together and it all... The Gnat. Ew. Cop versus cop. Can I set this up, or is this gonna run right into the levers here? Oh no, we can run a little bit back. What are you running at the end? Yeah, around 4,000. Okay. Yeah, give him 4,000. Give him 3,000. 2. And then 1,500. Just because I don't really want to leave any money on the table if there is any money to be had. There. The Gnat. The Revengers we haven't actually scheduled yet. That's just where I ended up dropping it. The Nude Revolver. So you finally crapped out. How did you end up with 14 here? Weird. Is that a bug? Did I do that? Oh no, wait, I kicked it up because there was more theaters available. Interesting though that it was 14 and then it dropped to, what is 60% of this? 6,000, like 10,000, I guess. I guess, yeah. Okay. And distribution. $18 million is amazing. It's like the 4th best movie I've ever made, maybe the 3rd. Not as good as Zeppelin. Zeppelin stands stands in an echelon of its own. Can you guys hear that typewriter going wild in the background? Oh, thank God, the bell finished ringing. All right, The Gnat is a relatively cheap movie from my filmmaking perspective. Sure, Mark. David? Mark was the other guy, I think. 2 cars, a maid, an assistant, a butler, and a partridge in a pear tree. Too much stuff. Medical insurance. He doesn't need that Cadillac medical insurance. He just needs the basic health coverage. A checkup once a year and, you know, a stiff pat on the back. I think... Oh, we do have a writer. I want to write Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd is like one of my favorite dystopian stories. Like the movie with Carl Urban is amazing. Dredd, we'll call it Forebodar. Judge Forebodar. It's an action. It's science fiction for sure. It's mostly action though. I'd say like 70-30. Not really drama or anything else. It definitely dystopian future city. Protagonist is a cop. He's a judge. The antagonist is a criminal gang, really, yeah. It's unfortunate that it has to be all one gender. It'd be nice if you could do a mix of either. Cause like the main character is Mama. The bad gang leader. But the rest of her gang are just like whoever. So I almost wonder, like, do you make it a killer, a murderer, as the main protagonist or a main antagonist? I think you gotta lean. The accurate portrayal of this film is cop versus massive gang. There is a sidekick. Here you go. There is an angry boss, and the sidekick is a woman. Let's get into the elements here real quick. There is a shootout for sure. Search for a killer. Not really a prison break. They're already out. They're already just like in. They're sorry. They're already like out of prison. Maybe they were never in prison. The antagonist does get killed at the end. That is how that goes. I think this is a good setup for this. I am interested to see how big battle scene plays out now that we have access to not like a ton of extras, but more. So that'll be interesting to see. Okay, I think this is a great place to pause the episode. If you guys enjoyed the episode, please click the like button. It helps me out a lot. Who knows if this is going to be the last episode with this studio? So if you're interested in seeing where this goes, or you want to see the new series when we start over with the new big update, you should you should subscribe to the channel. That also helps me out a lot. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody!